rise, warriors of gold. Legends are written, our story unfolds. Steel meets will in the heart of the fight. Bow to the crown or be lost in the night. We stand tall, we don't kneel. Glory forged in iron and steel. Through the fire, through the pain, only the strongest will remain. Imperial, the kingdom stands. Imperial, we rule the land. No retreat, no backing down. We wear the gold, we take the crown. Imperial, the empire reigns. Battle cries echo through the halls. Champions rise while the weak ones fall. One shot, one chance, destiny calls. Claim your fate or lose it all. We stand tall, we don't kneel. Glory forged in iron and steel. Through the fire, through the pain, only the strongest will remain. Imperial, the kingdom stands. Imperial, we rule the land. No retreat, no backing down. We wear the gold, we take the crown. Let's go! Static sparks fly, the screen revives. Ghost of glory come alive. Boots once laced in past tense drives. Kick out again in overdrive. Frames that fractured spines and pride. Crowds that crash like turning tide. Moments that time could never hide. We press play, they can't subside. From bell to bell, from rise to fall, from curtain call to brawl to end all. Time may tick but can't enthrall. But we're a wind and reinstall. Rewind, let the seconds spin. Lose the loss, replay the win. Every near miss, every pin. Run it back, begin again. Cut to clash, align the stars. Scars replay like battle memoirs. Past but now we redefine. Greatness lives in the rewind.
Good evening, everybody, and I think I'm a little laggy right now. Oh, I don't know what's going on there, but welcome to the rewind. I don't know why I'm jumping about like that. That must be something technical going on. That's very strange. I don't know what's going on there. I will try and persevere. Can people actually understand me? Or, is it too bad? I can't really tell. I do see out on other. You've got unlucky DJB. Brazil have avoided extra time, even in brevs and brevettes. I really have no idea what's going on with the frame rate here. It shouldn't be that slow, ladies and gentlemen. I am hoping you can understand me though, and everything's fine on your end. If so, this is the rewind, the show where we go back, and we're going back just over a week now to Battle for the Crown. And what an absolutely fantastic night we had. So many matches, so many things happening, a lot of announcements that night. I was a very busy man. What is that? Guest incoming. Who is it? I have no idea who that is. I'm gonna have to check. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, in the interest of fairness, hi.
Oh, I don't usually come on this show. I'm not here to pick an argument. I'm not here to start a fight. I'm not here to have any sort of disputes. I can't really be bothered for that right now. It's 8 o'clock on a Monday. I've got better things to do. I just came on here because I thought everyone would like to know that I've came to the conclusion that I know what I want mine, Alan Shaw's GrandSlam stipulation to be. And I thought, well, we'll let everyone know now. Let Alan be nice and prepared so that there's no excuses by the end of the night. So I'll do it now on the rewind instead of waiting until I was
Lovely.
originally going to do it in the Legion's live, but I'll do it now. I've thought about this quite a lot, and while yes, I could decide that me and Alan could be in a hellish sort of weapon-filled, mayhem-filled, bloody match with all sorts of carnage going on. I was going to pick that, and then I chose against it. And you see, there's been one thing that's been bugging me for a very long time when it comes to my duration inside of the IWF, and that is my first championship reign in the IWF. I was the first ever IWF champion, and for my entire championship reign, it was overshadowed by fans and wrestlers and commentators and ring announcers saying that I didn't deserve to be IWF champion, saying that I cheated my way to win after win after win, saying that there was better people that could have been champion in the back, that I shouldn't have even been on the shows, that maybe I've lost that wrestling ability because I've relied so much on them underhanded tactics, and that after a while that's upset me quite a bit because I know for certain that that's not who I am. And the GrandSlam, I want to prove not only to all them fans, to all them wrestlers, to everybody else that works at the IWF, I want to prove it to myself that I am the best wrestler inside of that ring, inside of IWF, and inside of any other wrestling promotion that I step into. And Alan Shaw is a person that likes to think that he's one of the best on the card when it comes to in-ring ability.
Yes.
Sovereign Shield Championship. Everyone spoke about that championship since its debut as being the working wrestlers championship. It's the fighting man's championship. Only the best should be able to hold it. People that work hard should have it. Well, Alan Shaw, the GrandSlam, me and you are going to have just a singles match. No funky stipulation, no weapons, no underhanded tactics, just Persona and Alan Shaw in that ring in a bog standard wrestling match. Where I'm going to make a promise right here, right now, live, and you can record this and you can put it wherever you want. I'm not going to use any underhanded tactics. I'm not going to use any steel chairs. I'm not going to use any spanners. I'm not going to accidentally hit Brian and then do something to Alan Shaw when he's not looking. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm going to step into that ring at GrandSlam. I am going to school Alan Shaw inside that ring. I am going to show to every single person that doubts me why I call myself the best in the world. And when it's all said and done, and when I walk out of the Grindon, the new Sovereign Shield champion, I don't want people to talk about that title reign the way they spoke about the IWF championship. I know what I'm capable of doing. I understand my own abilities, and everybody that looks back on Persona 3 years ago understands all of the abilities and everything that I am capable of. So I'm going to try and go back to an earlier mindset, and I'm just going to simply go out, wrestle how I know I can, and win the Sovereign Shield Championship. So Alan Shaw, the GrandSlam, a singles match. No underhanded tactics from me. I doubt there'll be any from you. I will see you there.
Wow. You know what? What a way to start the rewind. I'm going to say very admirable of Persona. He could have picked any, like he said, he could have picked anything he wanted. Weapons, tables, ladders, chairs, anything. Anything to bring down Alan Shaw and his Sovereign Shield Championship reign, but no. Gotta give him a little respect, you know? I mean, an all-out singles match. You've heard it here first, folks. And he said he's going to do it clean. No dirtiness involved. And I've always said, and you can go back and check the records, I've always said, Persona is a fantastic wrestler. I just think he's got a really crappy attitude. If he can do this clean, fair play. You know, I can't argue with that. I really can't. So Alan Shaw and Persona, singles match. Wow. Well, folks, what we're going to do now is we're going to go through Battle for the Crown. We're going to go through the matches, and as usual, we're going to go through the highlights from the matches. What I'm going to do is, as the first highlights are playing, I'm going to try and sort out this camera issue. So the first match from Battle for the Crown featured two amazing up-and-coming talent. Jakub, the youngest Polish, I believe he's the youngest Polish champion, 14, 15. And Solaris Hex, who he moves like a bullet. Zip, zip, zip. He's all over the place. So they faced off in the very first match at Battle for the Crown. I am going to bring the highlights up onto the screen. Please, folks, try and enjoy them. I think this is it. The screen is so laggy right now. Has that fixed it? It has, but there's apparently two of me. Let's get rid of that one. Imagine two of me. So what we're going to do now is talk about how fantastic that match was. And it really was. Both of those lads, I've seen them on multiple occasions now. Jakub's legs. Yes, Jakub's legs. I mean, wow. The young lad was flung about that place. So was Hex. It's not very often you see a match that quick. I've got a sore neck, you know, because I'm constantly looking up. There was one point in the match as well, Jakub. I think Jakub flung Hex up. He did touch the ceiling tiles, and I said at the start of the show, I want the ceiling tiles blown off of the roof. I didn't mean literally, guys, but it was absolutely a fantastic match. Impressed me so much that Jakub was chosen to be in the next in line 6-man elimination match that we're going to have at GrandSlam, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. I'd love to see what you guys thought in the comments, but we are going to move on as well to our next match of the night. And we are going to see Jakub again momentarily, because our next match was between Asylum, who would be coming out with Maxwell, as per usual, taking on Walk of Wall Street. Walker, the Big Brev, once teaming. When was the last time you teamed with them? It was a while ago now, but as Strange Street, the Brev bond, it always stays strong. So we are going to look at the match highlights between Walker and Asylum right now, folks. Enjoy. And the match would end in a double countout. Both men just couldn't get back into the ring in time. At that point, they did get back into the ring eventually, where Maxwell would hammer Walker in the gut with that baseball bat. Asylum dropping Walker down. They started unloading on him, but then the Brevs came and saved the day. There was Dagon Jakob, who'd already been flung about at the start of that match. I do believe Hex came running out as well. There's so many people. And then all of a sudden we saw Danny Kaye and Ewan, Fatal Fantasy, and Kirsty came out as well. If I'm missing anybody off, I'm sorry, but it was absolutely chaotic. Alan Shaw came running out as well, having to pull Walker and Asylum apart. It was chaos. It was madness. And then Maxwell, the cheek of Maxwell, getting on the mic and demanding a last man standing match. Luckily, I know the big Brev, and I know how, I'm going to say it, how pissed off he's going to be. So fair enough. He can have it. And what Walker does to him, that's on Asylum's head. You mess with Jakob, you don't mess with Jakob. Not when Walker's about. That's like one of the big rules. I do see all of the comments coming in there as well. Evening to our resident ring announcer, Ruby Baker. You're going to have a very tough time coming up for you at GrandSlam, Ruby. You're going to have a very, very sore throat. There she is. Good evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of that match? What do you think Asylum and Walker is going to be like this last man standing match? Who do you think is going to be the last man standing? Because these are very big men. It's going to take a lot to keep them down. But while you decide on who you think is going to win that, let's move on to the next match from Battle for the Crown, ladies and gentlemen, as Rory Shaw took on the returning, not Johnny Thunder, Johnny Wilson. And this was a really, really good match. Please enjoy the highlights, folks. See, there's another guy who I think if he just didn't have a bad attitude, me and him would probably be friends, because Rory Shaw is a specimen. He is an absolute monster in that ring, and he always manages to impress me. Catching Johnny Wilson into that German suplex, chef's kiss. You can't deny it. Johnny, unfortunately, coming up just a little short, putting up a fantastic fight against Rory Shaw, who is known for dismantling people that are smaller than him. Just go back and look at the shows on the IWF Patreon and you'll find out exactly what I'm talking about. They impressed me so much, and even though Rory was a little cheeky to me on the stage afterwards, can't deny the impressive match. So Rory Shaw got the second entrance into the six-man elimination match at GrandSlam. Very shortly followed by Johnny Wilson, who did very much impress me upon his return to IWF. Loving the new gear as well, Johnny. I hope you're watching this. Let's have a look at some of these comments coming in. Very good match between Rory Shaw and Johnny Wilson, mind. It was, Caitlin, it was. And Ruby, if I don't end the show worrying if I'll have a voice left in the morning, then I ain't doing my job right. Exactly. And I'm pretty sure your fellow ring announcer, Taylor, can attest to that. My God, the bellowing I've heard him do. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on, though, very swiftly into our next match highlight of the match, of the night. Oh my God, I'm getting tongue-tied. And that was, I do believe it was for the Regal Duos Tag Team Championships. It was Fatal Fantasy taking on The Detriment. So we're going to have a look at the highlights now from that match. Please enjoy. And still, your Regal Duos Tag Team Champions, Fatal Fantasy. Not without a little, underhanded tactics there. Sliding the belt into the ring, smashing Albie's face onto it. And what you might have noticed is Brian wasn't in the ring. Brian wasn't referee. Fahrenheit of Blaze of Glory, he decided he wanted to do more. They were sitting, watching as fans, taking in the fantastic show, and they decided, we want to do more. They did some bell ringing earlier in the night as well. But yes, Fahrenheit gone the referee top. And in case you're wondering where Mitch was during all of this, he took my place on commentary for this match. So if you want to hear that, go and check out the show on Patreon. It's something else, folks. But up until the closing moments of that match, I was rather enjoying it. I really was. I was standing on the side watching it. Then the ending happened. Fatal Fantasy, as per usual, managing to slither and slide their way to a dirty victory, in my opinion. Then chaos erupted because there was a point where Alfie, I believe, had the match won. Fahrenheit and Mitch, it happened at Blaze of Glory the month prior, I believe, and they both deserved championship opportunities, in my opinion. So before chaos erupted, before they decided to beat the ever holy hell out of each other, got in there, got on the mic, and declared that at GrandSlam we will see them in this triple threat tag team match. Regal Duo was on the line, the Fatal Fantasy taking on The Detriment and Blaze of Glory. So if you want to come watch that, come to GrandSlam, folks. But we're not yet to talk about GrandSlam right now. That's later. Right now, we are going to continue with the night for Battle for the Crown. And our next match, it was a fantastic match. Again, up until a certain point, and you'll see what I mean. As Johnny Flashback took on Matty Mayhem. Enjoy the highlights, folks. And there you have it. Matty Mayhem coming out with the victory. But if you look at the end there, I don't know if you can really tell by the video, but he was feigning an injury to the shoulder. He waited until Flashback got close enough, pushed Brian away, and then launched into the attack on Flashback. Flashback had ample opportunity to attack Matty as he was pretending to be hurt, you know. But he didn't, because Flashback, he's that traditional style of nice guy wrestler. If you're hurt, he's going to wait. He doesn't want to win like that, and that's not how you should win. And I completely agree with Flashback on that. Up until that point, it was a very impressive match by the pair of them. And it was at this point that I thought, you know what, we'll go for it. The fourth and fifth participants in the six-man elimination match for GrandSlam would be Matty Mayhem and Johnny Flashback. So it's going to be good to see, because we're going to have two matches kind of running back here. We're going to see both Johnny Wilson and Rory Shaw in that six-man match. But we're also going to see Matty Mayhem and Johnny Flashback in that six-man match. And we'll talk about who the sixth participant is when we get to talk about that later on. But it's going to be a very, very interesting one, to say the least. This is the best in-flight entertainment. You know what? Thank you very much. Good friend there, James, on his way to Tokyo, Japan. You lucky son of a gun. Well, ladies and gents, we are going to move on to it was our second to last match of the night, and it was for our IWF Women's Liberty Championship. A whole lot of trouble, Lottie getting a massive opportunity against our champion, Kirsty Love. Still unbeaten, the first Women's Liberty champion has come over. She's gone through every obstacle that's been placed in front of her. So please enjoy the highlights from that match. Can I just say, first off, poor Brian. He's always getting manhandled in some sort of way. Sorry, bruv. Kirsty Love successfully defending once again her IWF Women's Liberty Championship. But would that have happened had Brian not have been knocked over? Because Lottie did roll Kirsty Love up. And even I was on commentary shouting 1, 2, 3, 4, just going on and on. And do I say we should have a new champion? Maybe. We could have had a new champion. But fate intertwined, and Kirsty Love is still the Women's Liberty champion. Until after the match, I decided to make another announcement. Told you I was a very busy man at Battle for the Crown, and I announced that Penelope Grace will be returning to the IWF. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. But before we do, we are going to move on to our main event of the evening for Battle for the Crown. And what what a match it is. Was. The stakes had never been higher. We saw Alan Shaw and Dagon, our Sovereign Shield champion and our IWF champion, respectively, taking on the Legion, Spawn, Dagon's son, and Persona, a former IWF champion who we've seen at the beginning of the Rewind tonight, has already made his stipulation to Alan Shaw for GrandSlam loud and clear. He wants to do this clean. He wants to do it in a singles match. And I have to respect that. But we are here to watch the highlights from that amazing tag team match. Please, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy.
And I think that's one,
all she wrote.
2, 3. Oh, dear me. Oh, sunshine.
Touch it! Don't touch this, Colin!
So I got a little emotional on commentary there. I will admit. I do apologise. But your winners of that match, as you saw, the Legion. That low blow, man. I think that low blow reverberated through the entire room. That was the beginning of the end for that match. And knowing what we know from the end of it, because Spawn stated his stipulation right away, he was going to let Dagon go ahead and decide things. All he wanted was his career. He wanted to end him. We then found out it would be a no-holds-barred match. Any outside interference, match is called off instantly. But the championship is on the line, and so is Dagon's career. And speaking of that, I kind of believe he would just go ahead and do something like that on the fly. I don't know if anyone saw me. I was completely shocked. I grabbed the belt away from Spawn and Persona went down there, handed them back. And when Dagon said those words, absolute mind explosion. And I've got a guesting coming, apparently. Okay. Okay, maybe I'm not going to do this behind closed doors. Welcome to the stage. Your IWF champion, Dagon.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been better.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say it outright. I'm a little peeved that you would do that. IWF without Dagon is not right. That's not something that should have ever been thought of. If you're gone, it's like the soul of Imperial leaves. What the hell were you thinking?
Now, first of all, I want to apologize to Alan because I weren't thinking about the match at this point. I weren't thinking about stipulations. I seen Alan's head get rammed in that floor, and I was more bothered about how my tag team partner, our Sovereign Shield champion, was. And that distracted Brian. And I should have known. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And Spawn delivered that deadly shot. Fair play. And within regards to the stipulation, I've got everything to fight for now. There's no going easy on Spawn because he's my blood. There's no going easy on him because I want him to be successful. My career's on the line. I owe this to Zoe. I owe this to Lilith. I owe it to you. I owe it to every single fan out there. And I owe it to myself to make sure that that boy's home. I ain't going anywhere.
I mean, I hope not. And look, I'm not talking to you as General Manager DJB right now. I'm talking to you as Dan, somebody who's known you for years. Nobody wants to see you gone. You could have done this without putting your career on the line. You have everything. You know you've got everything to lose here, right?
Dan, listen. If Spawn can beat me, if he's got what it takes to overcome his prince, then I have no choice. It's the circle of life. I will take my boots off. I will leave them in that ring, and I will walk. However, this match is a no-holds-barred match.
It is.
No outside interference. Because you know that Persona, Colin, his little friends in the back will want to ruin this opportunity that Spawn's got. So none of them are going to get involved. And if anybody, this includes Walker, Jakob, Alan Shaw, even you, think that things have gone too far, so you want to get yourself involved to make sure it's a no contest, don't bother. This is between me and Spawn. And I can promise, come the end of GrandSlam, I will still be your IWF champion. I will still be ruling this empire.
I think there might be one other person you need to convince not to call that match off if it goes too far. And his name's Brian.
Brian knows. Straight down the middle.
Well, I trust Brian's judgment, and I've always said the official has full control. So, hey, If you think you've got this, you know, I've always trusted your choices. If you think you've got this, then who am I to try and stop you? I mean,
I
at the end of the
understand.
day,
I understand everybody's worry.
yes,
One is legit. The only person in this world that knows me inside out. He knows what my next move is. He knows how to strike. But I learned him everything he knows. He carries my blood. And I will always be one step ahead. He's too naive. He's too young. He doesn't know what he's got himself in for. I'm not Persona. I'm not anybody else that he thinks he can just tear apart. I'm his father. And in the underworld, I am his leader.
well, I think either way, it's going to be very emotional. It's going to be a different aura in that room from bell to bell. And do you want to stick around while we tell the folks where they can catch this match?
Listen, when the Empire needs their champion, I'm always here. Let's go.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Battle for the Crown, and we are now moving on to our next show, our 1 year anniversary. And I've put the wrong picture up already, Brev. I've got a lot on my mind. Primarily, you possibly not being around much longer, but again, we'll not talk anymore about that. There it is, GrandSlam. You can catch that on the 18th of July.
Listen,
What?
Before we go in to looking at these cards, I need you to stop your doubt. I don't doubt myself one little bit. So you shouldn't be doubting me. I will still be here. I will still be on the poster holding your IWF championship.
I'm going to hold you to that. I will hold you to that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the big one, GrandSlam. This time last year, we were delivering our very first show. I'd say it was more than sold out. I'd say it was absolutely jam-packed. And I'm pretty sure we're going to do that again. But you can catch us on the 18th. Is it the 18th or the 20th? I got mixed up. It is the 18th of July. Saturday, the 18th of July, from the Grinton Social Broadway Club. Absolutely fantastic place. The staff are amazing. Get yourself down there. And it is, as well, wheelchair accessible. We're on the ground floor. No stairs, no elevators, nothing like that involved. So get yourselves down for an amazing night. We've got some amazing matches. Shall we get to them?
Let's go.
Oh, actually, no. Before we even get to the matches, we have very special guests at GrandSlam. We have Pink Lemonade, local artists. If you were at Pride Mania not too long back, you would have seen them live performing. Well, we snapped them up right away. We thought they were amazing. And for you right now, we do have a very small snippet from their song Light Up the Night, which I do believe is the official theme the board chose for GrandSlam.
It is.
Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy. And if I do start to dance a little, I apologize.
Losing my mind, trying to hide what's inside. Time that I realize.
Very catchy song.
Nothing that they can say could take this away. This is where I will stay. And now I gotta try to push these feelings aside, slowly fading away. I can feel the
I like that. I really like that. It gives me, you know what? It gives me WrestleMania vibes. It honestly does.
Reminds me of something that Lilith watches on TikTok and tries to make me dance to. I'm not that guy anymore.
I was going to say, there was a time you would have danced to TikToks with Lilith. You have TikTok danced with Lilith before.
Listen, mental health is not something to joke about.
You can talk. Okay.
I was going through a tough time then.
You were going through a very strange time, weren't you? Okay.
In case of your peers.
Yeah, as if. God. Pink Lemonade, folks. Come and watch them live. They're going to be absolutely fantastic. We're going to show all of the support and love we can for these local artists. But get yourself down.
They're like the next version of Little Mix.
Yes.
That's the vibe I get. Little Mix. They were from up the road, weren't they?
Were they?
From Newcastle, I think.
Were they? I thought that was that last from Girls Aloud.
Cheryl Cole.
Aye.
No,
3D
Little
Cole.
was from Newcastle, and these girls from Hartlepool. And I think they could go the distance.
Oh, yeah, completely. They've got that vibe about them as well. I think people are going to get a right bargain seeing them now for a tenner at GrandSlam, as opposed to £130 a few years down the line at the Stadium of Light. We are going to move on. Oh, what was that?
I was just admiring the Stadium of Light, that's all.
Oh, you would. We are going to move on. As I mentioned earlier on through the highlights for Battle for the Crown, we've got that 6-man elimination matchup, the next in line match at GrandSlam. There's the poster for it. And as you can see, the 6th participant was revealed, I think it was a day or two after Battle for the Crown, to be Scoop. So we've got Flashback, Scoop, Rory Shaw, Matty Mayhem, Jakob, and Johnny Wilson. Your thoughts on this? Because that's a mental lineup, you know.
It's one of them where I think Thunderflash has got a good opportunity here, because if either of them win, do they go back for the Regal Duos? So it's 2 in 1 shot, isn't it? Or do they go their separate ways and make their singles career in IWF? I mean, you come and challenge me if you wish. But I've got to put money on Jakob. I've been a big fan of Jakob since he started training, and I think this is his time to finally grab something and run with it.
Yeah. He's been very impressive over the last year, and arguably his biggest win against Persona, former IWF champion. What a match that was, folks, which you can go back and watch on the IWF Patreon. I cannot wait for this match. They're all fantastic, in my opinion. And to get to see Scoop in IWF, that's going to be something new, something fantastic to see. I've seen him a few times before. He's very talented. Very talented individual.
And he's also a little prick.
I mean, I wasn't going to say the word, but okay.
But he's very talented.
Yes. I don't know if you'd say the same about these lot. So we do have as well our triple threat tag team match, The Detriment, Blaze of Glory, and the champions, Fatal Fantasy. Both The Detriment, in my opinion, and Blaze of Glory deserve championship matches.
Yeah.
Why not just mash them all together at GrandSlam? I think even it's rare when Colin compliments me. So when I announce this match, you'll hear him on commentary. He complimented me, so I'm happy with that.
If I wanted to be an asshole DJ, I'd fought. But with this match, it's like triple threat rules, isn't it? Blaze of Glory could pin the Detriment and become the champions, or vice versa. So that means that Fatal Fantasy doesn't even need to be in the ring to lose them belts. And them style matches, they play on your mind. I think we're going to see a shocker. And I think Fatal Fantasy is going to overcome the odds that seems to be stacked against them. You can't deny the talent. As much as I like seeing Brian get his temperature checked, and as much as I like to see Alfie Jackson show how much he loves Hybrid, and Hybrid kind of give him the cold shoulder, put him in the friend zone. I don't think Fatal Fantasy will let their reign end this soon.
You know what? I'm going to go with my gut. I'm feeling a 2-time run for the Detriment coming up.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I just feel like they've got something more to prove, and getting those championships back will prove it.
do you know who I think is the real winners of this match? And that's the Empire. Because no matter who comes out of their tag team champions, we're going to have a good set of tag team champions.
100%. I can't even argue with that. Thinking about it, not a chance. Moving on, our next match, and we announced this, our battle for the crown as well. Well, it was more screamed at and ordered and barked at. We are going to see Asylum and Walker in that last man standing match. And I'm saying it now, I think Walker's still holding on a rage from what Asylum did to Jakob at Battle for the Crown. And he's going to use all of that against Asylum, yeah.
However,
you know Walker better than me, though.
that could be the downfall. So, if you know Walker's history, he's always at his best when he's having fun. That's one thing I've learned about the Big Brev. And if he goes into this match full of rage against Asylum, he's going to get torn apart. Asylum is, I mean, you've seen what he's done to me.
Yeah.
And I'm under no illusion that when I managed to regain the IWF Championship, Asylum was wore down. I'm not disputing that fact. But last man standing, can Walker keep Asylum down for the count of 10? This could be an underdog story.
It could be.
But my money, unfortunately, if I was a gambling man, would be on Asylum.
Oh. I'm going to stay true to the Big Breath, and pray he comes through. I think what Asylum did to Jakob was absolutely disgusting, and he needs brought down a peg. And I think Walker's just the man to do it.
I agree. If anybody is to do it, it's going to be Walker. But I don't know. I just feel like if he does go into this with a hot head, that's going to be his downfall. What he needs to do, he needs to have an iron brew beforehand.
Yes.
Does he have an iron brew?
Have you had an iron brew lately?
Not for about 6 months.
No. But moving on to our next match. This was also announced at Battle for the Crown, and we are going to see the return of Penelope Grace taking on Kirsty Love. Not just that, but it is a special referee match. Lottie will be the special referee, and I believe 100% that Lottie will call this match clean down the middle. She gives me the vibe of someone who has a great respect for wrestling and wouldn't tarnish it in any way as to cheat one of these women out of the match.
No, I think Lottie is just very new and just trying to make a really good impression, which is doing immensely. That match with Silfrina, she put on a really good performance. Against Kirsty, I felt like she held her own. But when you mentioned, I heard it, I was backstage. When you mentioned Penelope Grace was returning to face Kirsty, that room went. And I think we could have the women's match of all women's matches coming up. But, again, I've got to go with the dark side. I think Kirsty is far from done yet.
Just like every king, I believe every queen has their time where they have to step down. I think GrandSlam is a big enough stage for that crown, that championship, to be passed. And I think Penelope Grace could be the one. I really do.
I agree. I think Penelope Grace has got it in the locker, but Kirsty's got some wind behind her now. She's flying.
Yeah.
He goes in overconfident. That could be a different story, but a veteran like Kirsty never underestimates her opponent.
I get that too, and I've got just because of how excited I am for this. I've been dying for him to come up. Phil Marshall, whatever happens elsewhere, just know that the SME, that's our little broadcast network, the SME champion will be at IWF GrandSlam. Oh, I cannot wait for that, Phil. You're going to have such a phenomenal time, and you're going to get to see Dagon kick his son's ass.
That you are.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's the confidence.
in a while. And for anybody that's just tuned in or just started watching IWF, SME's been a big part of IWF since we first started. We've even supported us elsewhere as well. So yeah, it'd be great to have another champion there.
Phil, the man with a voice like butter, as many people say. We've got two more matches announced for GrandSlam, and they are the biggies. Of course, this one up first. Alan Shaw defending that Sovereign Shield Championship against Persona. And again, as we found out earlier tonight, Persona's picked that one-on-one singles match. No stipulations, no hardcore stuff, nothing like that. And he claims he's going to do it completely clean. Do you believe that?
I believe it's going to be clean. And I'll tell you why. Spawn wants the best version of me. And he knows to match up to that, I need the best version of him. So why would he influence, or why would he ruin his chances in potentially running in to get kicked in the face, to rock his night? So I think this will be a singles match, straight down the middle. Whether in chairs or underhanded tactics happen, I'm not too sure. But Alan Shaw is starting to get that aggression that a champion should have. And my advice would be, you see that little pillar get a chair, make sure you land them with it first.
Yeah, I mean, after that match at Battle for the Crown, Alan Shaw got on the mic and he addressed Persona, and the rage, the anger in Shaw. I'd hate to be Persona right now. That was I've never seen Alan Shaw look as scary as he did right there.
I'm going to put a whim and say this could be one of the greatest matches you'll see in IWF. As much as we dislike Persona, the kid's talented.
Yeah.
Very talented. And Alan Shaw is just as talented.
I'm going to have a hurt leg again. I'm going to be looking up the entire match. I just know it.
This could be very fast-paced. And these two have known each other years. They know inside out what they're going to do. It's going to be one for the ages. And my money, it's on the King of the Skies, Alan Shaw.
Same. But now we move on, because the last match card I have here is your match. No holds barred, championship in Korea on the line. Father versus son, Dagon versus Spawn. You're here right now. How are you feeling?
I'm in two minds because I never really wanted this.
Yeah.
Now, when I started getting attacked, I thought it was Persona. I thought it was a druid. Turns out it was Spawn, because he was jealous. Jealous of his father's success. Seeing that he was in my shadow, He's never been there. He's always been successful by himself. Yes, I've protected him. Yes, I've given him as much as I can. But the skill that he has, the way he moves in the ring, the wins that he's getting, it's all been on him. So someone's been in his ear. And then he held Lilith for Persona to kick her in the face. And I look past that. Because he didn't hurt Lilith. He held her. And he was just trying to make a statement. That's all it was. But that boy got brought up by a woman that adores him. She's been the one that sat there while he's cried, comforted him, washed his school clothes, made his packed lunch, took him to football, spent money on him. And to call her a stupid bitch. My son was no longer in there. He's gone to a dark place. And I need to teach him some respect. Even if I have to beat it into him, it needs to be done. Those fans that come to our shows, month after month, cheering his name. These are the same fans that followed us when we first created the Empire and stood loyal to the cause. And you disrespect them like that. Where's Spawn gone? Where's my son? Where's the Lilac Demon? Where is the poster boy for Imperial Wrestling Federation?
He's been brainwashed.
He is. Then he decides, after cheating his way to victory, he doesn't just want the IWF Championship. He actually said that means nothing. He wants the claim. He wants the flowers of saying, I was the one that ended Dagon. Kid, you're not big enough. You're not smart enough. You're not wise enough to be the one that topples me. Because I can guarantee you now, and this is for everybody watching, everyone that watches this back, I am going to go at the darkest place I have ever been. If you want to play dirty, Spawn, I'll play dirtier. If you want to reach for a weapon, I'll reach for two. There is absolutely no way my career is going to be hindered at a spoiled little brat like you. When all's said and done, and I'm stood in the main event at GrandSlam after pinning my own son, a bloody mess with this raised above my head. And you're on your knees apologising, Spawn. I'll show mercy. I'll be the father that you need in that moment. But before that moment, I am your enemy, and I am your worst nightmare.
Yeah, I don't know what more I can say to follow from that, folks. You are going to witness history. It really is, and you can catch it all July 18th, GrandSlam from the Grindon Broadway Social Club. £10 for your tickets, £5 for children under 5s, go free. I've got a funny feeling if you don't get your tickets soon, they're going to be long gone.
But I do have some information about that, DJ. So
Oh,
we have nearly 100 tickets gone already.
oh, damn.
Me and my good friend Brian have been out. We've put some posters out, met some of the locals, which was really great. And I just want to thank each and every local business that has a GrandSlam poster in their shop window or in their shop. And then we went down to visit Dropkick on Saturday, Seaburn, for the Armed Forces weekend.
Yes, I seen the images.
And over 100 flyers were given out to the board. So this one,
Yeah, it's safe to say that, folks, get your tickets. They're probably going to be gone very soon. But just in case you missed it, one last time, GrandSlam, July 18th, Grindon Broadway Social Club. Witness history. I'm gonna remain confident and say, witness this man beat the crap out of his son and not have to retire, because that's not happening.
I've got a favour to ask you, actually.
Well, yeah, of course.
When I beat Spawn, never ever put me in a match with him again.
I can do that.
I don't want this. I don't want to inflict pain on Spawn, but I have to. But as long as this never happens again, I'll be a happy demon.
For as long as I have the power that this will be the last time, I swear that to you now.
And then when I finish, I'm going to kick Colin straight in the face. Because this is all his fault.
Can you
Regardless.
give him one for me too? He said I had two chins.
Well, I mean, he seems to be on his high horse as of late. And why wouldn't you be? You've got the Legion, one of the most deadliest tag teams around. But he's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame on Saturday.
Yes.
IWS first Hall of Famer. And I'm not going to take away what he's done for the company because of what he's done now. But I will be that demon that throws his right boot straight in the face of an IWF Hall of Famer. You know what that will be, Colin? Genius.
Oh, I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for the Rewind and Dagon. Thank you for coming on and sticking around as we head into the biggest show of IWF to date. And it's only going to get bigger from here on out. I have nothing more to say than I hope this isn't the last time me and you share a screen. I'm fairly confident it isn't.
Certainly will be.
So thank you very much for joining us here tonight. And the next time you'll catch me will be on the Rewind for GrandSlam. Unless you're at GrandSlam, get your tickets today, folks.
Now we'll be on there with you.
Thank you very much, guys. From wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
No retreat, no backing down. We wear the gold, we take the crown. Imperial, the empire